sketchnoting competition. If you didn't catch Emily's session on Monday, go onto YouTube, watch her session on sketchnoting, learn how to do it. Then you can create your own sketchnote of any of the workshops you watched this week, upload it to YouTube, upload it to LinkedIn or Instagram, tag us, use the hashtag, and we'll be picking our 3 favorites to win 3 months of Twinkl Ultimate membership. The other thing I want to ask you is to be lovely. It's one of our values here at Twinkl to be lovely. We ask it of all our teammates, all our employees, and I extend that invitation to you. So please be lovely to each other. Be lovely to me. I've done a lot of webinars during my time at Twinkl, but I still get a little nervous. It still feels quite vulnerable to put yourself out there. And one other word is that our next workshop will be starting in an hour from now. So usually we try and have an hour break between, but there isn't an hour break for this one. So be aware of that. So that's why I won't take up the whole hour, because I want to give everyone time to get into Dory's fabulous session that's coming next. Are we ready to get into it? Awesome. Okay. Let me fiddle about, make sure I'm sharing the right screen with you. Fantastic. Oh, no, this is the wrong. It is the right one. I haven't updated the title from the last webinar I did. So it should not be teaching English to young learners. It is Twinkl ESL and Global Citizenship. There you go. Oh, no one can see, can they? Why is it showing us a green screen? Let's fix that. How about now? We're all good? Awesome. I didn't even need to reveal my error to you. I could have just hidden it, but there you go. So, okay, first mistake out of the way. Hopefully that's all of them. So in this session, again, it's going to be quite informal. There's not a huge number of people here, so it's just a chance for you to learn more about Twinkl, our perspective on global citizenship, and also what we do and how we can support you. So an introduction to Twinkl, our perspective on ESL, and global citizenship, and what you can expect from ESL this year, Twinkl ESL this year. So, if you don't know, Twinkl was co-founded back in 2010 by John and Susie Seaton in their bedroom in Sheffield in the UK. If anyone knows the UK, it's northern half of England. And now we have over 1.5 million different resources, services, and materials for teachers that are downloaded billions of times a year across the globe. Susie, I think back at that time was and might still be actually, an early years and young learners teacher, and she was frustrated about the lack of teaching resources and materials that she could find for her classes, and together with John they started making them themselves and then sharing them on the internet, and that's how Twinkl grew. Since we were founded in the UK, that's the base for activity. So on the Twinkl website, you will see a lot of materials that are geared to UK primary schools. And our phonics program, Twinkl Phonics, is also validated by the British Department for Education. So the British Department of Education has looked at that program thoroughly and said, this is great, this is acceptable to use in UK schools. So kind of have a bit of authority there, and you can trust that that program is good to use and in line with kind of up-to-date policy research around phonics teaching. Now we have 30 million teachers signed up around the world worldwide, and content for all those teachers. If you are in places like Italy, or if you're in a Spanish-speaking country in Japan, you'll see we also have a lot of bilingual materials that are translated into different languages. A little bit about the Twinkl ESL team. We started off with a team of just 2 people. Does anyone remember Miranda? Do we have any Miranda fans in the chat? Does anyone remember seeing Miranda's videos? Claire, Yulia? Her name rings a bell. So the team originally was just Miranda and me. You might know Miranda from her very funny skits about grammar and the English language and teaching. If you're not sure, go to our YouTube channel, look at some of the older videos, and you'll see she's hilarious, very funny. So it used to be just me and Miranda, and over time the team has grown to over 30 amazing writers, designers, team leaders, lots of amazing people. In 2023, in January, we launched our first ESL curriculum, which is a course that started at A1 level and now goes up to about B2. And it's really optimized for tutors and online teachers. It's a flexible program that you can teach online, but it also has some offline materials. And the focus for that really is speaking and communicative English. There's audio, there's lots of interactive elements and games. It's fantastic. Check it out if that's something you're interested in. In the spring of 2023, we expanded the ESL team to welcome some new writers and designers. Some of them might be here today. And that was really the first time we kind of built a team of people to be able to create the content that we do. In spring 2024, we began making content for adults and teens. If you're really familiar with the Twinkl site, you know that Twinkl is best known for its materials for young learners, kindergartners, primary school students. But for ESL, we felt it's really important to make content for adults and teens. We thought this, and we still think this, because we know that ESL teachers are very busy, they wear a lot of hats, and also they jump more easily between age groups, right? Compared to a British primary school teacher, it's much more common for an ESL teacher to maybe switch from teaching elementary school English to adult English, depending on where they live and their context. I know when I was teaching more often, I worked at kindergarten in the day, but I would often tutor adults at night, and we know that a lot of teachers would do that. So this is primary school, second language learners, or first language. So for the adults and teens, the UK site, a lot of the material you might find on our site is for first language learners, but we have the whole ESL section of the website that's dedicated to second language learners. In May 2024, we launched some of our first CPD courses. We have a course for marketing yourself as a teacher if you're a tutor, or a freelance teacher. And we have a course for helping you prepare your students for Cambridge exams. So if you're tasked with getting your students to pass an exam, that course can help you get ready and feel confident doing that. In October 2024, we held our first international conference, and it was so good we're doing it again. In July 2025, we launched our first gamified grammar course. Interesting story, Berna, who is going to speak later on today, she did a workshop about gamified grammar in 2024 at our conference, and she was incredible and amazing. And that really inspired a lot of us to want to do more gamification and more gamified content. So she was really one of the original inspirations for that. Sally asked, do we have secondary school first language material too? Yep. If you search for Twinkl Beyond, that is Twinkl's KS 2 and 3 material, I believe. So yeah, we do have, I would say, like, the thing we're known for is young learners, but we do have a lot of content beyond young learners and primary. So have a look around the website, drop me an email and I can send you links if you want. In 2025, we hosted over 20 live events for English teachers. You might have come along to one of our previous workshops or webinars. We did one about gamification, we did one about teaching young learners, and we've got a lot more to come this year. And then 2026, here we are at our first international, or second international conference. And I think from now on, it will probably be an annual thing, I hope. So that's a bit about our journey. We now have 6 areas of core content for ESL teachers. ESL Kids, which is content for teaching kids. ESL Teens, for teenagers. ESL Adults, for teaching adults. ESL Exams, which is very focused on the Cambridge exams. There you'll find practice tests, prep lessons, games and activities that help students prepare for those exams. And they're organised by exam, so you can find what you need. ESL Business, which is content geared towards teaching students business-related English. And then our ESL curriculum, which I mentioned earlier, is for young learners about 7 to 12 years old. It starts at A1 and goes all the way up to B1. Why global citizenship? So when I sat down, or when the team sat down to choose the theme for this year's conference, we were really thinking about what do Twinkl do? What do Twinkl ESL do? What makes us different from other material publishers out there? And what is important to us at the moment? Something that came up in a lot of the live events and a lot of the work we did over the year was this theme of global citizenship. And so as we were doing all these guides, these workshops, these courses, we were really thinking about what do we think is important. So there are currently 400 million native English speakers of English, but there are 1.5 second language speakers. That means that most speakers of English learn English. It's not their mother tongue. They learn English. They're second language speakers. That means non-native speakers outweigh or outnumber English speakers by 3 to 1. So if you're talking to someone in English, a lot of the time, the likelihood is it's not an English speaker. And most of those conversations will be happening between two non-native speakers. I think that means in the modern world that English is no longer a product to be promoted or sold by countries like the UK or America to other countries, right? I think 10, 20 years ago, all English schools and all English publishers, they either had Union Jacks or they had statues of liberty, and they had the American flag and the British flag. I don't think in the modern world, and I don't think the way the world is now, English is a product that we are as Brits or as Americans or any country to be selling, right? It's not a product. English is something that is owned by the people that speak it. Most of the people that speak it have learned it as a second language. And most of the teachers that use our site and most of the teachers that are teaching English around the world are not native teachers. Some are, and they're fantastic teachers, but a lot of them are non-native teachers. And there's a lot of value in that, and they need to be kind of respected for what they do. English shouldn't be owned by one group, one country, by people. I think the Twinkl ESL team believe, and I believe, that English should be a tool for communication, for collaboration, for connection. The focus of English should be understanding and to be understood. It's also the lingua franca of the internet. It's the key language for business, politics, global issues. English is not something you learn so you can travel to London, or you can travel to Cape Town, or you can travel to Toronto. It's a global communication tool. And I think as teachers of English and as English publishers, we need to keep that at the forefront of our minds. So what does that mean? Native speaker is not the standard. So when you read Twinkl materials or you see our marketing materials, you won't hear us say speak like a native or sound like a British person. Think back to the workshops we've had this week. I think only maybe 1 or 2 workshops have been delivered by people who speak English as a first language. Most of the people you've heard speaking are non-native speakers. Aside from that, the focus should be on communication. So like I said, understanding and be understood. We encourage teachers to use soft correction, to focus on encouraging students, to make them feel comfortable speaking English. And I don't think our ethos at Twinkl is promoting perfection in English. We also believe that our resources should reflect global values, diversity. So the images you see, the stories you see in our materials should reflect the whole world around us. They should be flexible. We know some teachers are teaching in, Jennifer will know this, in a Hagwon in Korea. Some of us are teaching in summer camps. Some of us are teaching in business. They're going into businesses and teaching business people at lunch. Some of us are teaching teenagers. Some of us are teaching in secondary schools or primary schools. Some of us are teaching in kindergartens or daycare centres or after-school programs. So our resources need to be flexible and reflect that reality. And they should also reflect the world and reflect what's going on and equip students to understand the world. Some of the things that we're working on this year, or a lot of the things that the Twinkl ESL team is creating this year, are designed to empower students to use English as a tool. So we're working on a project. I think this week our writers are starting to write a course on the UN Sustainable Development Goals to help students engage with and discuss the Sustainable Development Goals. We're working on a project-based learning course that teachers can use to implement project-based and task-based learning. And we're also working on a lot of a debate and engagement material. Our local experts. I also wanted to give a shout out to the rest of the Twinkl team that help the Twinkl ESL team thrive. We have teachers all around the world that really know local cultures and the local teaching environment, and they help us all the time to adapt our materials, translate our materials, find out what teachers need in each country. So they really support the ESL team to localize and make sure that materials are right for you. This is just some of our fantastic country managers who help us. I couldn't feature them all, but you can see the amazing Flor in Argentina, Wendy in South Africa, Lara in Spain, Chuse in Turkey, Han in Vietnam, Armand in Philippines, and then Joanne in Taiwan. That isn't all of them. We've got a lot of different country managers, but they're all fantastic. And hopefully you can see them at some of our future events. Another thing we really want to do is to meet teachers where they are. Not every teacher is the same. Teachers come from different backgrounds, they have different paths into teaching, they're at different places in their career. So some might be only English teachers, some of you might be elementary school teachers teaching 8 different subjects. English is just one of them. You might have a CELTA qualification or an MA in TESOL, congratulations. You might just have a TEFL certificate, and that's fine. You might teach kindergarten, you might teach adults, you might teach A1, pre-A1, teaching C level. Couldn't be me. I love teaching kindergartners, but that might be you. And some of you might teach online. Some of you might be purely online teachers. And some of you might be in the classroom all day teaching on your feet in the classroom, no online, no hybrid. Our job is to help all of you. Not every material might be suitable for you, but it's our job to make sure that you can find what you need to help you teach. That's our mission. How does that filter through into our content? So we make sure that global resources are localized as needed. So we try to make resources that can be used around the world, but when they need to be adapted and localized, they can be. When you need to amend them yourself, adapt them yourself, you can. When you download a Twinkl resource, it's up to you how you use it. Obviously, you need to pay attention to the level. I probably wouldn't use an advanced reading comprehension with your kindergartners or with your pre-A1 students, but you can adapt it and use it however you see fit. Teach some of it, teach all of it, teach none of it. It's up to you how you use it. Number 2, diverse and inclusive materials. Something I'm really proud of is that our resources are really diverse, especially visually. Students will see themselves reflected. One of my favorite moments is when I found lots of illustrations that we have that have kids with hearing aids. It might be a small thing, but if you're a kid that has a hearing aid, seeing yourself reflected in resources is incredible. Often when we think about disabilities, we see images of kids in wheelchairs, and that's amazing. I don't want to stop that. But it's nice to see true diversity and different people include different people around the world. Our resources are practical and they address teachers' real need. We're not creating resources for some perfect classroom that doesn't exist. We're preparing students to be global citizens, so more and more in our content we are trying to address problems, solutions, and help students to think critically. We make materials that focus on communication and comprehension. Again, like I said before, we think the aim of English primarily should be to understand and to be understood, not to become a native speaker. There are native speakers. You don't need to be a native speaker to communicate and use English. And finally, some of the content you might see from us this year. As I mentioned, our amazing team of writers are just beginning to work on our Sustainable Development Goals course. I've been hard at work trying to edit and amend the prototype for this course, and I'm so excited about it. I really think it's going to be amazing and quite different to some of the stuff we've created before. Project-based learning, like I said, we've got a project-based learning course coming out. You might have seen our Gamified Grammar for Teens course last year. The team have nearly finished working on our Gamified Grammar for Kids. The aim is to make grammar really fun and get your students motivated to learn grammar. Video and writing courses. So we're also creating some courses that use video in order to teach. And we're also going to be doing a lot more CPD, a lot more events, a lot more teacher support, a lot more free guides, and really expanding what it means to help those that teach. Awesome. I told you we were going to be quick. Sally asked, do you have any help to teach? Do you help teachers to teach didactic? I have to have a look into that. Drop me an email, Sally, at the ESL email address, and I'll see if I can send you anything, and see if we have anything on site that might help you. Any other questions or comments or criticisms? Wonderful. Oh, go on, Sally.
Yes, in fact, when I say didactics, what I mean is not to teach didactics, but to help us to do the didactic. It means didactic. What I mean by didactic is how to teach the material. Like you've got the material and everything, but how to adapt it to our students. How to get them to understand what we're trying to teach them. Is there help in like in the teacher's books, not just the answers, but also the practical put in place of the do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There are 3 guides I can think of that we published this year. One that is all about how to make your lessons more fun and engaging. One that is about teaching young learners, and one that's about teaching beginners. They might all be of help. Towards the end of the session, I'll grab the links and put them in for you.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Lily says, does Twinkl have any international collaboration program? We do often work with ambassadors. So if you're using Twinkl resources in your classroom and you'd like to share them with others, we've just launched a new ambassador program that helps that kind of is working together to share our content internationally. Again, drop an email at esl@twinkl.com, and I can send you details of that program. Claire, who's one of our amazing team leaders, said that there's lots of ESL lesson plans. Yes, there is. I'm going to show you the ESL homepage really quickly. So this is the hub for all things ESL at Twinkl. And like Claire said, there's some fantastic lesson plan packs. So this is our kids page. This is all the content for kids. As you can see, it's organized by level, A01, pre-A1. And then we've also got things like PPT games, listening, grammar, reading, speaking, lesson plans. You'll find we made these incredible packs that have everything you need to teach a lesson. So, oh, it's not flicked between the screen. Okay, hold on. Let's make sure I'm presenting the right thing. You got it? Yes. Okay, I'll go back to the kids page. So if you're on the homepage, the ESL hub, click kids, and it takes you to this wonderful page with all of our kids content. A lot of it is organized by level, so pre-A1, A1, B2, listening, grammar, reading, speaking, etc. Here we have lesson plans. Each of these packs contains everything you need to do to teach that topic to that level. So in packs, you'll find a core lesson, activities, games, worksheets, homework activities, and a lesson plan that you can follow as a teacher. So all you need to do is download the pack, print what you need, load up what you need, and the lesson plan is there ready for you to follow, to try and take all the prep out so you can focus on the teaching. Jennifer said, thanks for the session. I first looked at Twinkl about 8 to 10 years ago and didn't realize how much we'd grown. Yeah, I mean, I think that is one of the reasons I'd recommend getting a subscription, is that A, there's new content added all the time. B, if you have a request, we will try our best to honor that request. So if you love these lesson packs, for example, but you can't find one on the topic you need, you can drop us an email, and for members, we will try our best to create that resource. So within reason, okay? If you come and ask, can I have 20 resources on something very niche, we might not be able to do that, but we will always try our best to honor requests. So if you see or there's something you really need for members, we can create things. LM Institute said they love the resources, thank you. I saw someone asked about gamified grammar. We aren't planning to add any more topics to the gamified grammar for teens yet. I think for the time being, we want to focus on getting the kids' content out there, and then we might review things and see. We're always looking and reviewing what we do, right? And looking at how popular. So if we look and we can see teachers are downloading this gamified grammar course in droves, hundreds of people downloading, we can make more of it. So at the moment, we're just reviewing and seeing if there's enough demand for us to create more. If you have ideas of gamified grammar resources you want, please do email and let me know. Yes, Ian, we do really want to create IELTS resources, but we're a bit struck, very honestly, with copyright issues at the moment. We can't use the name IELTS. So it's a bit of a sticking point. If anyone knows anyone that works at IELTS and can convince them to let us use their copyright, that would be great. We really want to make IELTS resources this year. It's top of our list of things we want to do. Sandra said her students love it. Awesome, that's perfect. Sally asked, are there materials for different level students in the same class? That is actually something I've been working on this week. I've been putting a plan together for content that is optimized for large class sizes with mixed levels. So keep an eye out, and we will be having packs that are designed to support mixed levels, mixed ability levels in the next few months. I love the Beyond resources. Oh, Sally, do we create resources about different English-speaking countries? Yes, almost certainly. I think if you search on the site, Travel London, or All About London, or All About USA, or All About South Africa, there is a lot of stuff on there. Oh, Barbara asked, is it possible to find content that is aligned with the Italian ESL curriculum? Yes, because I worked on it this year. However, someone told me today that there were problems with the Italian domain. And I think our Italian domain is not working very well today. I think there's some tech issue behind the scenes. Barbara, drop me an email, and when the Italian domain of the website is back up, I'll send you a link, because I worked on aligning our content with the Italian curriculum this year, so I know it's there. Oh, I'm so happy that Twinkl helped you as a mother. That's amazing. Please drop us an email if you need a certificate for a session that's already finished. I don't want to confuse anyone in this session with the wrong certificate, so drop us an email and then I will I'll get that link for you. Let me show you a little bit around. That's the kind of the end of most of my presentation, so if anyone wants to leave, please do. But otherwise I'll show you a bit more around the Twinkl ESL website. So here you can see all of our core collections of resources. Usually up here we'll have some of the kind of big things going on. So we'll have New Year or winter or Christmas or whatever's happening at that time. You can also scroll down to dig deeper into the content we have. So you can see all of the different levels for the different age groups and some of the resources that our teachers love most, like lessons that work in Google Slides, classroom displays. Oh, Chandra, that's a really good question. Chandra asked, what indicators tell you that a resource is truly helping students think critically, not just complete tasks? For us, as an education publisher, we're very reliant on teacher feedback and teachers letting us know. We can go and test in our classrooms, but we're never going to get a big sample size. So what is really important to us is your feedback and you letting us know that resources help you think critically. I would say that some of it is going to be down to you as a teacher, right? I can make a presentation, but if you're not, like, we make amazing materials, but we trust you to use them the best way. And if a teacher isn't kind of in helping their students to think critically and engage it with the tasks, then whatever presentation you make is not going to work, right? I think that it's about observing your students and seeing how they engage with the material. Yeah, there might be a PPT or a lesson that they're just not into, that they just don't like, and that's fine. If you find that you're doing an activity and they're just checking it off, move on. You don't have to do every activity. Find something that does engage them and does get them thinking, right? If your students are really interested in football, search the Twinkl website for football related lessons or football related worksheets. If your students are really into learning about the world, like Sally was mentioning, look for some resources and games that focus on the world and learning about different countries, really tailored to their interests. Oh, Sally said, are there resources that help non-native students under pressure in bilingual classes to get to proficiency quickly? For that, I would recommend looking for our EAL resources. They are designed for non-native English speakers who are in English-speaking classrooms and need to get up to standard. This team, our EAL team, make incredible content for those students to help students who do need to kind of catch up to level. Yeah, Chanda, I agree. If you can see that a resource or a material or an activity sparks something in your students beyond just answering the questions, then yeah, I think that they're definitely more engaged and they're definitely more willing to think critically. Awesome. Is that the end of the questions? Picture books. If you are interested in picture books, I recommend checking out Twinkl Originals. They are our own books that we make, storybooks. Some of them are more advanced. If you check out the early years and beginner books, they are often very visual, very simple, and great for teaching beginners. Like Let's Learn About Seasons. It's not filtering for me right now. Oh, here we go. Serena's Harvest, Let's Check the Weather, Let's Learn About Plants. These are all very basic picture books that are great for learning English. It's one of the ways I first learned about Twinkl. I used a lot of these Twinkl originals in my COVID hybrid teaching classes. Awesome. I'll hang around for a few minutes if anyone has any more questions. But other than that, you're free to go. Have we got the certificate link, Elia, for this session? Oh, here we go. Yes, Elia's pinned it. I'll send it one more time just in case. Awesome. Don't forget to join Dory's session. She's incredible and I'm really looking forward to her workshop coming next. And please enter the sketchnoting competition. I'm really excited to see everyone's sketch notes. Oh, more questions. Is there a curriculum for pre-A1? Barbara, we are working on it now. We are in the planning stages and we are just getting approval from our production team, and we are planning a kind of pre-A1 kindergarten course. It won't be similar to the curriculum, as it won't be primarily online because we want to avoid pushing screens for young learners. So it will be much more of an offline course than the curriculum, but yes, we are working on a curriculum for pre-A1. Someone said materials for Japanese learners. Yes, we do. Let's search for the Twinkl Japan page. Here we go. If you go to the Twinkl page, Twinkl Japan page, or actually the best thing to do. Oh, it's telling me to log in. The best thing to do is to change your website country to Japan so that you're seeing the materials for Japan. And we have a lot of bilingual and local materials for Japanese students. Amazing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being such a nice and supportive audience. Thanks, everyone. I'll stop sharing my screen.